The Carrizo Plain National Monument is the ancestral homeland of the Chumash, Yakuts, Salinan, and other Central Valley indigenous nations. The area is culturally significant, featuring rock art, including pictographs at painted rock, created by these native inhabitants over thousands of years. The indigenous people occupied the area for at least 10,000 years, with a peak in activity between 4,000 and 800 years ago, according to the Bureau of Land Management. The Carrizo Plain, declared a national monument in 2001, is now a stunning 204,000-acre protected landscape in California's San Joaquin Valley, where vast grasslands, dramatic geological formations, and spectacular spring wildflower displays offer visitors a rare glimpse into what much of California's landscape looked like before modern development. This remote monument, traversed by the San Andreas Fault, is approximately 50 miles long and up to 15 miles across, located in southeastern San Luis Obispo County near Santa Margarita, California, and offers amazing views to the east over Carrizo Plain and to the west over Cuyama Valley. Carrizo Plain National Monument lies between two mountain ranges. The Trembler Range stretches to the east, and the Caliente Range rolls on to the west. Sandwiched between the two ranges is the large alkaline lake called Soda Lake that dries during the dry periods. It is the largest remaining natural alkali wetland in Southern California and the only closed basin within the coastal mountains. As the name suggests, Soda Lake concentrates salt and water evaporates, leaving white deposits of sulfates and carbonates that look like baking soda. Throughout the year, the monument is a harsh and desolate landscape. However, in the spring, after winter rains, the barren land turns green, and colorful wildflowers bloom along the sides of the mountains and across the plain. The heavy rains this winter, after 5 years of drought, brought the most beautiful wildflower fields. If you don't mind dispersed backcountry camping on BLM land, driving on dozens of unpaved dirt roads, melting in the sun for 17 miles, or hiking in the dark, then you'll love one of the most gorgeous hikes I believe I've ever completed.
Alright, so I'm at the Ridge Trail trailhead, and I camped at Selby Campground. It's on BLM ground, and it's just dispersed parking, or dispersed camping, and people were dispersed everywhere. Any place that you could park your car at all and, kind of sort of set up a tent, or maybe even not, there were people. So it's pretty crowded because it's just beautiful weather, beautiful weekend. It's right before the heat wave that's supposed to be coming in. So I think people are just trying to get in, see all the wildflowers, and hike and do all the things before it gets too hot. So I'm also going to do that. I'm going to try to finish 17 miles before it gets too hot. But we'll see what happens and how it goes.
The Caliente Mountain Ridge Trail is an 8.5-mile path that follows the ridgeline of the Caliente Range. It's non-stop spectacular views throughout the hike, but it's also fully exposed with no shade. I ended up camping the night before at Selby Campground.
So camp was somewhere a little past the rocks over here. There's some lakes going on.
It's available on a first-come by first-served basis, has 13 campsites with picnic tables, fire pits, horse corrals, and a wheelchair-accessible vault toilet. Electricity and drinking water are not available. There are no garbage service, so please pack out any garbage you have. This campground is more secluded and fills up fast. However, it's the closest camp to the trailhead. The last mile or so to the summit is the steepest and has the most elevation gain. At 5,106 feet in elevation, Caliente Mountain is the highest point in San Luis Obispo County. You can get views in every direction at the top. It felt like I was walking in a fairy tale with all these wildflowers and small ground animals poking up their little heads from all directions along the trail.
All right, so I just finished the hike. I did, I think it said 17 miles, so a little over 6 hours to do the whole thing. So, yeah, All Trails told me it was going to be a little over 16 miles. That didn't happen. But I also, if you follow the All Trails trail, it doesn't actually take you to the real parking lot in Trailhead. But I went to the actual Ridge Trailhead and parking lot. Had no issues. I just went straight from Selby Campground and then went up. I don't know if it's because the ground is dry and it was just easy to get here, but I didn't need four-wheel drive or anything like that. Yeah, it's a long hike, but it wasn't like, to the point where like I was really struggling or I was scrambling or anything like that. You definitely need to be in some type of shape, but it's doable. I just would never do it in the summertime or when it's any hotter than it was today. Otherwise, I probably would have had to held back myself out. But no, it was a beautiful day. There was cool breeze. I think this is probably like the last weekend anybody should be doing this. Otherwise, yeah, it was an absolutely beautiful hike with all the wildflowers and the sunshine.
Hiking along the trail definitely felt special. It was a truly beautiful experience, which is why I was concerned when I heard about powerful groups wanting to destroy the surrounding area. Even though much of the Carrizo Plain is now a national monument, the area continues to face significant development pressures. During the establishment of the national monument, oil companies retained underground mineral rights within the monument's boundaries. Oil exploration activities would spell disaster for these lands and the imperiled wildlife found there, particularly for ground-dwelling animals like the endangered San Joaquin kit fox. The sanctity of the area's status as a national monument has also been called into question over the years. In 2017, the Carrizo Plain National Monument was included on a list of monuments slated for reduction or elimination. In 2025, those threats materialized once again and persist today.